Rialto Housing Authority is now in session. Will the clerk call the roll?
Mayor Barker,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott,
Present.
Councilmember Andy Carasel,
Present.
Councilmember Carla Perez,
Present.
Councilmember Edward Montoya,
Present.
City Treasurer Edward Correa,
Present.
City Attorney Eric Bell,
Present.
City Manager Tanya Williams.
Present.
All present and accounted. Will we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? It will be led by myself. If we'd all face the flag, put your hand over your heart, and we'll begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing. At this time, we'll have the invocation by Pastor Harry Bratton from the Greater Faith Grace Bible Church.
Lord God, our helper, I pray tonight you'd help this Rialto City Council and administrative team. Help them navigate through all the items on the agenda tonight with courage, with wisdom, with guidance, oh Lord, as they have to make sometimes crucial decisions that could affect the progress of the city. Help them, God, to make those right decisions, to work together. Help all those here tonight, Father, to know that they're loved, valued, and appreciated. Tonight, help the city council make sure they stay on task, on target, to be able to make sure this city is the greatest place in the empire to live, to reside, and do businesses. This I pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Be seated, please. Before I call on presentations and proclamations, I'd just like to announce that this month is National Women's History Month. And I think all of us should remember someone that we recognize or know throughout history that has made many of the sacrifices. I'm only going to mention a couple of them. I'd like to start off by mentioning Alice Paul, who fought for women's right to vote. She was the first woman that did that. Then I'd like to recognize Rosa Parks for civil rights leader movement that led a boycott that lasted 381 days. Then I'd like to also recognize Dolores Huerta, a labor union civil rights leader. And then not but not least, I'd like to recognize Sonia Sotomayor, the first Hispanic Supreme Court of the U.S. I know that there are many other women who have made contributions throughout the United States too as well. I could probably be here the rest of the evening mentioning the names of many of them that have. We even made history here in the city of Rialto by having the first city manager woman. That's Tanya Williams there too as well. So we're part of that history as well. With that then, I'd like to go on to the rest of the agenda and start with the presentations and proclamations. Would like to, Cynthia Alvarado will help me with the certificates for the Rialto Sea Turtle Swim Team. Cynthia will call out the names and explain, but we would like to congratulate, on behalf of the whole city council here, we'd like to congratulate the swim team and coming in first, and that goes by, everyone here has signed the certificate, and that includes our Mayor Pro Tem, Ed Scott, Andy Carasel, council member, Carla Perez, council member, Edward Montoya, that has signed it, and this is in behalf of all of us. And again, we'd like to congratulate the team for its effort and also for representing the city of Rialto. You make us proud. in what you've accomplished. And don't let this be the last accomplishment that you have, that you continue to pursue those goals, reach for the stars, work as hard as you can, because there are many other avenues that you'll pursue throughout life. God bless you, and make sure you keep up your education and keep the Lord in your mind all the time.
All right, so to give you a quick background on why we're celebrating our sea turtles, a few weekends ago, the Rialto Sea Turtles represented our city at the SCSL Winter Championship meet, and they brought home first place in Division 2. We had about 18 swimmers swimming and competing there, where other teams only had, well, not only, we only had 18, but other teams had 39, and so what they accomplished is significant to be able to bring home a championship with only 18 swimmers, really putting in that work. And as an avid swimmer myself, I have to tell you how incredibly proud I am of you guys, so cheers to you. All right, let me call up and introduce to you their coach, Veronica Bryant.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, and to the panel. Thank you again for Mr. Joe Baca. Thank you so much for recognizing us and allowing our swimmers to be recognized for the hard work that they do. They come out Monday through Thursday and work out for an hour and a half, drilling them like I'm in the military, so you know they get that military gura. But they work really hard, and it pays out. We go out to Southgate. They have a league there that lasts for 3 seasons, and this is the first season that we were able to bring home the first win and the first medal or trophy, and we were glad and happy to represent the city of Rialto and represent you very well in the city of Southgate, California. Oh, I'm sorry. And one more thing, I just want to thank also Cynthia. Cynthia has been with me for many years, and it was because of her and the city of San Bernardino, they allowed the Rialto Sea Turtles to even exist. And when we came here to Rialto, we did do a slight name change from the city of San Bernardino, City of San Bernardino Sea Turtles, which is a very long name. We was able to shorten it to Rialto Sea Turtles. So thank you, Cynthia.
We love that.
Right?
All right, so we're gonna recognize her swimmers. So, Citlali Ramirez. Jaden Ernst. John Philip Yu. Luis Torres. Pandita Najera. Victoria Bados. Ethan Lopez. Hazel Delayo Garza. Jacob Gates. Is this your grandbaby? Ian Carreno. Alyssa Ernst. Annabelle Rodriguez. Chandler Jean. Okay. And you brought your bling. Hey, come here, come here, come here. Hey, little fella. You got to shake the mayor's hand. Dasha Carreno. Is Dasha here? Elizabeth Flores. Alyssa Zavala. And Emilio Bravo. All right, those are your champions for the SCSL League.
Once again, on behalf of the city of Rialto, we want to congratulate you, and we appreciate changing the name from San Bernardino to Rialto. Thank you. With that, then, we'll move into oral communications. Is there any oral communication at this point?
Yes, we have General Lenore like to speak. John, you can come to the mic. No, I need to see what those are.
Thank you.
I need to see what he's passing out.
Good evening, Mayor Baca and City Council. My name is John Lanou. I live just north of the 210 freeway, right off of Linden. And you have in front of you this evening a document which was sent to the residents in my neighborhood from the county of San Bernardino. They are planning to build a warehouse at the end of our street. Now, I'm not here to discuss whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, but what I am here to discuss is the fact that this is on county property. And to my knowledge, there are still 5 islands in the city of Rialto with these surrounding communities of Rialto that have the county of San Bernardino inside the city. It's very inconvenient. Now we have issues where this warehouse right across the street is the city of Rialto. The warehouse is in the county. So the residents along that street, we all have to go to the county to make our issues heard. If these islands were all annexed into the city of Rialto, I brought this up for 4 or 5 years now. This project was brought to us almost 5 years ago by another developer. And they came here to the city council. I was here at that evening, and we realized that they had brought it to the city council, and I made mention that this is in the county. Why is the city of Rialto having to deal with this at all? So they withdrew, and now they've been sitting on it, and they resold it. We have a new developer now, and apparently the county is going to work through on this. At your last meeting here, council members, why you put in a 6-month moratorium on the building or even the hearing of warehouses here in the city. So here's something that we're really having a problem with. We've got county property inside the city. There's other nuisances also. People that live in the county, they don't call the city of Rialto Sheriff's Department or Fire Department to have emergency services. They have to call the county fire. They have to call the sheriff. Many of them don't even know that they live in the county, and they don't know what emergency response services are they responsible for them. So this is really a nuisance, and we need to get these 5 islands annexed into the city. There's one other issue I would like to bring up, and that is public works. Public works here in the city of Rialto. I'm a member of the San of the Rialto Historical Society. And we often have, if we have emergencies in our museums, the Public Works Department is right there to fix them as quickly as they can. But things that are kind of on the back burner, like here, we have our 1853 adobe at Bud Bender Park. It's the first house that was built here in the city of Rialto. Why we've had water damage on the adobe structure on the outside. It's been over a year. Public Works has said that they're short-staffed and they just don't have time to get to work on that. At our 1906 church over on 2nd and Riverside Avenue, where our museum is, why one of the plexiglass panels fell out of the stained glass windows about 3 or 4 months ago. I've contacted the Public Works 2 or 3 times about this, and they have not put it back. Those windows were purchased and brought in here in the late 1800s, and we don't want somebody throwing a rock or shooting a BB through those stained glass windows. We'd really like to have that plexiglass put back in. So why the Public Works Department, part of the division, only works 4 days a week. The city doesn't stop on Friday. You know, we need to have Public Works be available 5 days a week. And so that's all I have for this evening. Thank you for hearing me.
Okay, thank you very much, John. And City Manager, can you have someone look at the 2 items that he mentioned in reference to the adobe and the other structure too as well? Okay, thank you. Are there any other?
No.
Okay, seeing that there's no other oral communications, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Is there any item that any individual would like to pull from the consent item?
Mr. Mayor, my item is not on the consent item. It is on tab item number 1. I have some concerns about this item, and I would like to meet with staff. So I'm going to propose tonight that we continue this item for 2 weeks.
Okay, do I hear a second to that? Second. Okay, a motion's been made and a second to pull that item, to move it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries.
Just as a point of clarification, tab 1, I believe, is a public hearing, so we may need to open the public hearing and continue it. Is that correct?
Yes, since we've noticed it, that they can continue, yes.
Can we get clarification from our city attorney on that?
You don't have to open it. You can open it and take testimony. You don't have to legally open it. You can continue it for 2 weeks and open it at that time.
Correct. Okay, and the
But it-
motion's already been made and voted on, so we will not hear comments in reference to that.
But some clarity, we have people that's put in oral communications to speak on tab 1.
I understand that, but the motion has been made.
I'm just giving you the clarity that we have.
Okay, no, I appreciate the people that are coming to speak on the particular items, but we'll also have a meeting tomorrow by the subcommittee, so they can come and speak then too as well on that particular issues that were before us right now, dealing with the COVID, and any other items that may be before us by the Community Development Block Grant Subcommittee that'll meet tomorrow at 5:30. Okay, thank you. Now on the consent items, do I hear a motion to approve the consent item?
So moved.
Moved by Andy Caracas, second by Ed Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries, the consent item carries. Now we'll move on to tab item number 2.
All right, thank you, Mayor. For this item, I'd like to call on Matt Bennett, our city engineer, to present tab 2.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. The report before you is Locust Roadway Widening Project, and is being brought back with the project design nearly complete. Staff predicts start of construction in the fall of 2025 and is awaiting notice of grant funding in support of the project at $9.73 million from a local partnership program. Appraisals shown in report tables 1 and 2 are for the properties that have construction such as curb, gutter, sidewalk, utility relocation, and street widening in front of them. These property dedications appraisals are to be negotiated not to exceed $3.2 million. The requested authorization for 11 additional appraisals is to address the parcels along Locust Avenue identified as needing corrective right-of-way acquisition where private property limits currently extend into developed city improvements. This process may involve negotiations with current property owners, compensation agreements, and legal measures to ensure the right-of-way is corrected and obtained, all of which is to be processed by Mark Thomas under the requested contract change in an amount of $254,710. This approval tonight will help keep the project on schedule if the LPP grant is awarded this June.
Do you have a slide presentation?
Yes, just a moment.
There it is.
Areas outlined in red are areas where right-of-way acquisition along Locust Avenue is required for this project. Areas denoted in blue are temporary construction easements that we also are in need of. The projects between Cosmalia and Riverside on Locust. Staff is seeking acceptance of real property appraisals and waiver of valuation reports, adoption of a resolution appropriating $3.5 million to authorize city manager or designee to negotiate and execute agreements for property dedications not to exceed $3.2 million, authorize contract change order not to exceed $254,710 for 11 parcels in need of corrective right-of-way acquisition. This concludes engineer's report, and I am available for questions.
Are there any questions? Councilmember Ed Scott?
So the red lines, can we put that map back up? So the red lines are right-of-way acquisition, and the blue are temporary construction easements.
Correct.
So why do we already have right-of-way in front of that property below West Coast Boulevard? Where you show a temporary construction easement?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem,
Yep.
according to our data and analysis that we've done up there in the design, we do have right-of-way in that area.
So we don't need to obtain any additional right-of-way?
That is correct, only a temporary construction easement.
Okay, and you stated that there were some items that had to be negotiated. Can you kind of explain that?
So there are 11 parcels that were discovered later in design that needed additional right-of-way or needed the right-of-way to be obtained and corrected. Those parcels lie along the frontage. Over time, some of the developments did create or construct public improvements, but the right-of-way dedication did not come along to afford those right-of-way improvements or those improvements to be within right-of-way.
So how long ago were those projects done?
There's a range, it's 80s on, some of the developments, some of the older developments.
Is there anything recent?
There are development projects that are in the works that also will be dedicating right-of-way that are potentially coming off of this list.
But on this list, are there any projects that have been completed that we didn't obtain right away?
There's one project that is, we're confirming their completion of their right-of-way dedication. I don't know the exact address, Prologis.
And we did not obtain right away?
We're confirming the right-of-way is going to be recorded and dedicated to the city as conditioned.
Okay. And what is the length of time you see this taking to obtain all the right-of-way?
The proposal from Mark Thomas suggested within 9 months. We're probably looking at trying to accommodate that in 3 to 6 months.
Is somebody from Mark Thomas here today? Yes, no?
No.
No, I do not believe so.
Since when do we award contracts to people that don't show up for the council meeting?
Right, Mark Thomas already has a contract with the city, and this is an addition.
I don't
and
care,
that-
this is an additional contract, and it's a lot of money.
Yes.
And if they can't be here at the city council meeting to address questions, why would we award a contract to them?
Understood.
That's all the questions I have.
Any other questions by members of the council? I have a question. You mentioned the development projects. What projects are we talking about?
The future projects along at southwest corner of Lowell and Locust is one of the development projects that's
Like doing what?
this is a commercial building, trucking at that location. There's another.
Is it trucking? And what do you mean by trucking?
It's a several 100,000 square foot facility. It is a trucking court adjacent to Lowell, accessing off of Lowell to Locust.
Is that currently a trucking route right now or not? Or is that why we're widening it?
The project is going to support trucking. That is a classified as a truck route.
Okay.
Locust down south is the determined route to Cosmolia.
And that could lead to additional congestion in traffic I don't know, I was just asking a question. Would it,
Yes.
Tim?
Yes, it would, and there are traffic studies and impacts, especially in this particular warehouse that Matt is speaking to. It's in the early phases that staff is looking at as far as any type of additional impacts to the roadway that they would have to pay for to improve, whether it's signals or things like that, which will come out in the traffic study.
I don't know if there's any other questions, but it's something that Mayor Pro Tem brought up, is that one of the consultants that is not present here, I don't know if we could, it would be probably wise in our behalf to wait, table this, and then let them be present, so this way we can ask questions of that particular person that has a contract. Would you like to do that?
Well, I'm not opposed to the project because we need to widen Locust, obviously. But I do have a problem with somebody that gets a contract extension not being here. So I don't intend to vote in favor of this tonight. So you can either pull it or take your chance with the other four. But I can't vote for something when the people don't even bother to show up at the city council meeting when we have questions. Because my concern about the acquisition of these properties are that it takes 9 months to 2 years to acquire them, and Locust Avenue sits there not finished, and it costs us your projection of this project is what, $20 million?
Yes, nearly 20 million.
So if we wait another year or two, it'll be 25 million. So I need some assurance that the person that you have doing acquisitions can work in an expeditious manner. And I will remind you, I don't think you were here, but Randall Avenue is a perfect example of it. where it took forever to acquire property to put sidewalks in. About 4 years.
Mayor and council, this item does have 5 individual actions. Items 5 and 6 are approval of the contract that's in question, and item 6 is authority for the city manager to execute the contract. You could, as an option, if you wanted to, approve the balance of the contract, but bring back the Thomas contract in 2 weeks, so they could be here to address your questions.
Do I hear a motion from someone on the council to approve the project and then bring back the balance to hear the contractor? Hello, council members?
I guess not. No. Dies for lack of a motion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to state that I probably am in favor of whitening, and I think I've heard from residents that would like to see it whiten in the area, but I think there's just some questions in reference to the contractor that should be here.
Mr. Mayor, I agree with you on that, but staff clearly is not prepared.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item number 3.
Thank you, Mayor. And for this item, I'm going to call on Mike Arona, Deputy Director of Maintenance and Facilities.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of council. Submitted for your approval is a request for the City Council to approve a contract service agreement with St. Francis Electric for traffic signal maintenance and repair services in the amount of $700,000 for fiscal year 25-26, and to authorize the city manager to execute all related documents. The Public Works Department administers a service contract for on-call traffic signal maintenance and repair services for the city's traffic signals and various traffic control devices. On December 18, 2024, the city released requests for qualifications for traffic signal maintenance and repair services on planetbids.com and the city's website. The RFQ scope of services included routine and preventive maintenance and general and emergency repairs of the city's traffic control systems. The RFQ was written to ensure that the selected firm demonstrates successful experience and capacity to provide services to municipal government agencies similar to the city of Rialto. On January 30th, 2025, the city received 5 proposals. Following the evaluation panel review of the proposals, St. Francis Electric was selected as the firm best qualified to provide the scope of service as stated in the RFQ. The primary factors involved in the selection process were the firm's qualifications, staff's qualifications, schedule for carrying out the required services, past performance with other jurisdictions, and responsiveness to traffic signal equipment knockdowns. St. Francis Electric has performed these services for the city of Rialto for the past 9 years, and they have responded promptly to emergency callouts and service requests. They have also performed routine preventive maintenance on schedule. St. Francis Electric provides experienced technicians who are very familiar with Rialto. These technicians have experience assisting the city with maintenance, developing detailed equipment inventories, and signal upgrades. The firm's experience with the city enhances familiarity with the city's intersections and signal equipment in use. For fiscal year 25-26, funds would be budgeted in the general fund traffic safety account in the amount of $450,000 and in the gas tax account in the amount of $250,000 for a total contract amount of $700,000. Funding for the additional contract years will be budgeted during the subsequent fiscal year budget process. So with that, staff recommends that City Council approve the contract service agreement with St. Francis Electric for traffic signal maintenance and repair services in the amount of $700,000, and to authorize the city manager to execute all related documents. Myself and a representative from St. Francis are here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yeah.
Andy Caraceres?
So I have a question regarding the process that we go through when, say, a signal light is either timed wrong or is not working properly. What's the process that our community goes through, and what is the time frame that we try to get this fixed?
So the process is usually they could call the front office, speak to one of our clerical staff. That message is conveyed to our field team. We will get out there, do a quick inspection. If we find necessary and we can't reset it ourselves, we contact St. Francis and they have a 2-hour response window.
So does St. Francis take care of the entire city, or is it just specific ones, new ones that they've
They take care of the 106 signalized intersections and all the related traffic beacons. So they're the sole source for the services throughout the city.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott.
You answered my first question. Thank you, St. Francis, for being here tonight. Secondly, the solar signs that are in the city that indicate speed, is St. Francis responsible for maintaining those also?
Some of the traffic radars they are responsible for. I want to say there's 4 throughout the city, and then I believe there's 2 additional that are maintained by in-house staff.
What about the ones on Riverside Avenue?
That is St. Francis.
So can you explain to me why that speed sign has been out of service for months?
I could check into that and get back to you.
Would you do that, please?
Absolutely.
Are there any other questions? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded by Carla Perez. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 4.
All right, thank you, Mayor. So before Matt begins his presentation on this item, I wanted to mention that these road improvement projects will most likely look familiar to many of you. In late 2024, Council did authorize the incorporation of these sections into the Very Streets Phase 2 paving project that was going on at that time. However, the contractor declined the extra work due to schedule conflicts that it had with future jobs and lined up in their timetable. So with that, city staff did rebid these as a separate individual project. And with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Matt.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members. By this Bloomington, Casa Grande, Maple Avenue improvements report, staff is requesting award of contract for the $1,810,000 construction contract award to Hardy and Harper to authorize contract change order in the amount of $359,777 with Specs Engineering Group for construction management, inspection, and materials testing services. Hardy and Harper was the lowest responsible bidder, just under the engineer's estimate of $2 million. Staff has reviewed and recommends approval of the proposal provided by Specs Engineering Group based on their prior constructability review of the project plans and their experience overseeing projects of this scope. Along Casa Grande, there'll be improvements, grind and cap between Mango and Alder Avenue to establish new striping to match City of Fontana's striping west of Mango Avenue and open traffic access westbound towards Sierra Avenue. Construction improvements at Bloomington and Randall Avenue, including completion of pedestrian sidewalk access, Cape and Bloomington Avenue, Lilac Avenue, Randall Avenue intersection. Construction of curb and gutter, sidewalk, driveways, and widening of the roadway to improve drainage for the homes that are along Maple Avenue south of Rialto on the east side, or other project improvements completed by this. This concludes the engineer's report, and I'm available to answer any questions.
Are there any questions by members of the council?
Mr. Mayor, do you normally
John?
have public comments after or before each
No, you normally would sign up for it before an item that's coming before us to speak on it. And if you submitted it, then the clerk then would call on you for comments.
Thank you.
If he wants to speak, I would suggest that we allow him to go ahead and speak.
Since there's no objection by members of the council, John, we'll allow you to speak.
Okay, I just wanted to.
But he needs to go to the mic.
You gotta come to the mic, John.
Say this name.
State your name as usual.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Can you state your name? Just
Oh, my name is John Lanou. I just wanted to clarify that so that we, the public, can comment on the tabs, because I watch the city council meetings normally because I have to take care of my wife. But so I have seen you ask the public if there are public comments, so I thought we might continue with that. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions?
Move approval.
Motion's been made to approve, seconded by Andy Catacetas, motion by Ed Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none, motion's approved. Move on to tab 5.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members. In my first week here, Tim made it very clear what the expectations are for engineering staff, our contractors, and consultants on construction projects such as Safe Routes to School project at and around Bemis Elementary. This TDA grant-funded project received a grant in the amount of $716,745 and has a local match of $385,905 from Measure I, is one of the many grant projects Rialto has recently been awarded. Staff is requesting award of the $777,636 construction contract award to CT&T Concrete Paving Incorporated, and to authorize change order in the amount of $111,800 with Onward Engineering for construction management, inspection, and materials testing services. The lowest responsible and responsive bid was submitted by CT&T. Staff has reviewed and recommends approval of the proposal provided by Onward Engineering based on their experience overseeing projects of this magnitude and scope.
Are there any questions by members of the council? Councilmember Ed Scott?
Is this the same contractor that's been doing the work around the city most recently?
By the contractor CT&T Concrete Paving, no, I don't believe it is.
And this is sidewalks and handicap?
This includes signage, reflective beacons, handicap ADA access ramps, sidewalk, and the like.
Okay, some of us have noticed a new standard in the city of putting rocks in between handicap access at corners and whatnot. Not that I have opposition to it, because I actually think it looks kind of good, but it doesn't seem like the city has a standard for our neighborhoods and what we do in them, and that it just seems to either be up to an engineer or to the contractor. So do we actually have standards? And I'm talking about areas that are normally be dirt between the curb and gutter and the sidewalk, generally on corners.
So part of the project at Sycamore did DG in the parkway area that I think you're speaking of.
No, this is not DG, this is actual rock.
The cobble.
And cobble in other areas at the ramps. So there is a standard for the cobble. There isn't a standard per se for the DG.
And is that standard throughout the city?
There are some different examples out there, and we're paying close attention to keep it consistent. And
I think
for
the question here,
My question is, why are we using different examples? Why don't we have specific standards of what our city should look like?
We are using the city standard for the next, and are paying close attention to the details that were presented at the last project at Sycamore that generally match the city standard, and we'll keep a close eye on that.
And
from
when
the
did
public
that
later.
city standard come into place?
2014, I believe, was the last city standard update.
Yeah, I think that we're all very much concerned with, we've seen the rocks, it beautifies the area, it looks nice, but we're concerned with the safety of a lot of the kids that end up stepping in the corners, and to make sure that there's accessibility for a lot of the disabled or anyone that would be utilizing it and would not trip. I know that it's, once you step on it, kids won't always stay on the sidewalks. They'll go on the side if they're waiting in line to have a cross guard cross them, and I think that's the concern that a lot of us have, and I believe that Council Member, our Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott is just saying is that we should develop a standard, so this way in the future that any projects that we have near schools, that we're standard and doing the same thing and not different at one school versus another school as we move forward. Those that have been done, and it's gonna cost too much to go back and redo those, but in the future, for anyone's that we do, is that we develop some form of a standard.
Well, I'd like to know how we established the standard.
Yeah.
So,
In 2014, when it was established? Yeah.
I would probably dispute that it was done in 2014. I was here, some of you weren't, and I don't believe I've ever seen that standard before, other than up around the Renaissance. That's not a residential neighborhood.
Correct.
So I haven't seen it done until very recently. But it's not that I'm opposed to it, but when do we set these standards, and what are they, and who, frankly, sets the standard?
And I think for clarification, we have a standard on the rock itself and cobble as far as the setting of it, the distances, and so forth.
so
The standard within the public right-of-way, right, or the ADA ramps, there is not one specific standard to that. There are design elements and restrictions sometimes within right-of-way, and the ramps that are designed in these areas then create pockets of maybe areas that won't be maintained or can't be maintained by a homeowner because of the design.
Yeah, we get
Right.
that.
Yeah, and so forth. So where we saw it in Sycamore, yes, I agree, it does look nice in certain areas. There is some, in my view, a little bit of overuse of it in certain areas, right? But the intent is to, if we're going to use it, we do need to have a solidified standard. Those standards were set by the Public Works Director and signed off back in 2014. They were never presented to council.
That's my whole point.
Yes.
I think what we need to do is to make sure that we do have some standards, and then come back to the council and present it to us, so this way, as we move forward, we can develop those. Andy, you had a question?
yes. So, I have a few concerns about this. So you say we have some standards. Is this something that you have some slides for, or I was the one that brought this up initially, and I had extensive communication with you, and I thought you were going to come prepared with some slides and indicate what these standards are, because we're just talking about standards, but I mean, you should have something on a computer, a design, something that we could see, something that the public could see. Why don't we have any of this?
For this project specific or across the board?
I asked for standards on what we're doing. I'm okay with the rock.
Right.
It looks great. But I want to know how we determine that at this corner, we're just going to do rock, and then the corner next, a few blocks down, we're going to go straight. I want to know how we're making those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Those decisions are important because this sidewalk's going to be there forever. We're not going to change it. It's not a bush that we could just replace. And us just arbitrarily putting up rock in one area and specifically by the school is, I'd like to see where you got these 2014 standards from. I'm sure you have some drawings or something
Yes.
that you could have came prepared with, because I had an extensive conversation about this. and I was very concerned about how and who's making these decisions that are gonna be there for life. And additionally, I'm concerned with the quality of the project as it's finished. So that particular project had chips of sidewalk right on the curb, and apparently we had the contractor that did it and thought it was okay. And then we had some of our city staff go out and, I assume, look at it and thought that was okay. And then we also pay an inspector that came out and checked it out and approved that and thought that that was okay. So I'm very concerned with what we deem acceptable. We're paying millions of dollars for these contracts, and we're just accepting whatever the contractor gives us. Who's going out to look at these? I can't drive around every project. I mean, that was by my house, and I was able to take a look at it, but I didn't stop and inspect it. I could see it from literally just driving through. So I'm very concerned with the quality that we accept, and that we don't have somebody that's working on behalf of our taxpayers and working on behalf of making our city look good. So that's a big concern that I have, and I wish that, and I hope that you bring some of this forward so that we could look at it, and so that our community can find out exactly why we're doing certain things in certain areas. Again, it looks good, but we just need to really take a closer look at why and how we're doing and making these decisions to make our city look good.
It's been clear that we need to develop a standard procedure and coming back. But I'd like to say in reference to the Sycamore area and the chip, I believe it's tagged now. It's a little yellow or orange tag that's on their side. I don't know if that means that they're supposed to correct it, fix it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it is.
But it was only tagged after the fact, and so
I
that's
know
the
that,
problem.
but at least it was brought to the attention. They did tag it, and so I'm sure that they're going, some correction action will be taken to make sure that that's not to be a sharp cut in that area. But with that, I'd like us to move on this item, and if nobody's gonna make a motion, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Carla, seconded by Andy.
Roll
Colacetti.
call.
Okay, roll call's been requested.
Who
Madam
made
Clerk, can you call the roll?
But who made the second?
The second was done by Carla, motion was made by Andy Colacetti.
It's the other way around.
The other way around, okay. Motion by Carla, seconded by Andy Colacetti.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Carasadas,
Aye.
Councilmember Montoya,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Scott,
No.
Councilmember Baca,
Aye. Motion carries. We'll move on to tab number 6.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. I've got tabs 6 and 7. Both these items are continuation of equipment purchases for the new police station and upgrades to existing systems. Tab 6.
Motion's been made by Andy Colacetti.
Second.
Seconded by Ed Scott. Any discussion? I'd just like to say that the improvement of new technology to the police department means better service to our community. And that's what this means.
Yes.
With that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. Item number 7.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I do have a representative for this particular contract from Motorola Solutions. It's Mr. William Golden. His account manager is in the back of the room right here. He can answer questions if you have it. What this is basically is asking council to purchase 14 Command X AXS dispatch consoles and mobile radios, and along with other equipment. So let me quickly just explain what this is. In this new police station, we got 2 critical pieces of infrastructure, which is the real-time crime center and also the dispatch center. 12 of these consoles go into the dispatch center. The other 2 are going into the real-time crime center. All the radios are in place in those consoles, and they're doomsday radios in case the systems go down. The department does not. So we're asking council to do is approve $1,133,900 for this, these pieces of equipment. There was no bid that was provided with this, primarily because Motorola Solutions was awarded a Sourcewell contract, which is 040201 MOT, and we piggybacked off of that. This contract is good up and through June of 2025, and the financial impact of this is
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Ed Scott, seconded by Carla. Any discussion? Edward Montoya?
No, he was explaining the way the system
Okay.
works.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Now we'll move on to, I believe it's the report by members of the council. At this time, I'd like to ask any member that would like to speak first. I'll call on.
Don't we have a closed session tonight?
Yeah, we do, but we can speak before and then go into closed session, and that way we can just adjourn while we're here with the public.
Could I start?
Yes, we'll start with Councilmember Ed Scott.
I'm going to address this to the city manager tonight. At the last EDC, you were requested by Mayor Baca and myself to have staff put an item on tonight's agenda for the city council to consider the opposition to a warehouse located on the west side of the intersection of North Maple Avenue and Vineyard. If you will recall, this city council, not all these individuals, but the Rialto City Council previously looked at this item a number of years ago when the county wanted us to annex it into the city of Rialto, and it was a 5-0 opposition to that project because it's too close to residential, similar to the warehouse across the street. I'm concerned that you failed to bring this forward to the city council tonight because there was comments were requested by March 7th. So we specifically asked for it to be put on tonight's agenda, and it was not. I am deeply concerned by that, and I'm going to publicly admonish you for it tonight. There is no reason for any of us to be coming to committee meetings and making recommendations for the city council to look at on certain dates, and then our staff does not perform. It's totally unacceptable. So this is going to have to wait for 2 weeks, which is probably too late to oppose it. So I will personally be writing a letter to the county of San Bernardino opposing it. I'm going to ask my fellow council members to also contact the county of San Bernardino and oppose this project. It is clearly too close to residential.
Thank you. Does that conclude your
Yes, sir.
council report? Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on Councilmember Carla Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. I had the opportunity to attend the police department's awards ceremony and also their promotion ceremony. And I would just like to publicly congratulate all of the award winners and also the promotions. They were great events. It was, nice to see all of them off duty and with their families there. And you can see, the pride that they all have, for their family that's putting their life on the line for us every day. So huge thank you. And also this weekend had the opportunity to attend Rialto Pony League's opening ceremony as well as Rialto Park opening ceremonies. Very well attended. Wishing all of the ball players a great season and, big kudos to their parents who are there supporting them, their friends and family as well. And then I'd like to just wish one of my best friends a happy birthday, Joanne Armendariz. We've known each other since our days back at Boyd Elementary, which is now Joanne Avila, but just wishing her a happy birthday today. Thank you, Mayor. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Edward Montoya.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I was really busy this past couple of weeks.
I attended Shelter Court right here at Carl Johnson Center. Rialto PD was there, San Bernardino County Probation, San Bernardino Superior Shelter Court, and various nonprofit organizations and public services. I also attended the Rialto PD award ceremony. I was unable to attend the promotion ceremony for personal reasons. But I also conducted a ride-along with Rialto PD and got to see things, how they conduct themselves on an evening shift, and that was pretty awesome. Thank you, Chief, for that. I was able to attend Werner Elementary School Read Across America event. This is my 5th year participating, and me and my service dog Sly, we have a great time every single time. All the kids come and pile on him, and they love hearing him grunt as he's saying, "Get off me." I also attended the Rialto City Park Little League opening ceremonies and Rialto Pony League as well. Kudos again to parents, family, friends, and everybody who makes everything possible for those kids. It's awesome. It takes a village, and it takes a team. And that is all. Thank you, Mary.
Okay, thank you. Andy Garceres?
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the police award ceremony, and I'm always excited. I took my son Andrew with me, and actually, no, didn't, not that time. Wait. Yeah. Okay, there's too many events this week, but anyway, he had a great time, and I just want to congratulate all the recipients. There was a lot of promotions. I see Mr. Cameron here, and everyone else that got promoted. Congratulations. This community truly is grateful for your service. I'm grateful for your service, and I'm grateful to see so many young police officers being promoted, and so much progress in our police department. I'm excited for the new police station that's coming here soon. They all deserve a new home. And lastly, I want to, in recognition of Women's Month, I want to recognize all the successful women that we have here today. I'll start with my favorite city clerk, who is a very successful women in the workplace, women as an elected official. I think the longest standing elected official in the county. Our director, yeah, absolutely. Our director, Cynthia Alvarado, who does an amazing job with all of our events. Our director of HR, Sharma. Our newly elected, Tanya Williams, who is doing a fantastic job. And last but not least, my colleague and Carla Perez, who is doing also an amazing job here. So I wanted to recognize everybody here in the room. And lastly, I'd like to recognize my amazing, trailblazing entrepreneur and businesswoman wife, Alicia Carrizales, who is waiting for me at home with some pozole that my daughter just made. So that's all I have for today, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll all be there to have pozole after this.
Let's go. The pot is this, literally, it's this big.
No, and
huge.
And just to end it in reference to National Hispanic Women, we'd like to really say to all the women that are mothers out there too as well, because they make a big contribution not only in bringing up a family. So I want to say, I want to recognize each and every one of the women that are out here in our society or in our country as well throughout the nation. With that, then, I'd like to start with my report. And before I do start the report on some of the events that I attended, I want to start with one that I want to plant a seed for us to look at and maybe look at developing for the city of Rialto, and that's a need for an inclusive playground. I think when I say a need for an inclusive playground, This would help with a lot of the disability children that we have, or children that are on autism, that would like to have access to a lot of our playgrounds. A lot of them don't have access to it, and we can probably utilize one of our existing parks that we have and looking at the possibility of moving in that direction to say that the city of Rialto cares about every individual in our community and wants to make sure that they have access to our facilities as well. I know many of the other children have access to the playgrounds there, but a lot of them don't have, we don't have the AD compliance with playgrounds in some of our areas. This at least would provide that opportunity, and hopefully that we can begin to start thinking in terms of what we will do there in terms of the future as well. With that, I'd like to echo what some of my colleagues said in reference to some of the events that we all attended, and I think most of us all attended the police department promotion ceremony. I want to say congratulations to all the police officers that were promoted, and including Cameron that's out here that's now the captain for the city of Rialto. Congratulations, CJ, an excellent golfer, and besides being a good policeman and a person that is taking care of our city as well. So congratulations to all of them as well. And then also to the police department that recognized a lot of the employees during the employee award. I want to thank all of the employees for their dedication and team effort in making Rialto a better place to live. And that's a team effort by all the employees that work for the department, a variety of different areas. So it's not just our police officers, but it's everyone. With that, I also like to state that I attended the Pony League opening ceremonies at Bud Bender Park. It was well attended by many individuals in the communities, and we kicked off the season, and many of the parents and relatives and friends that were there in attendance. So that just goes to show that the city residents are behind a lot of our youth activities that we have. The other one that we attended to as well, members of the council, is the Rialto City Parks Little League opening ceremonies, and they had their scoreboard. So I want to thank Tanya Williams and Tim Sullivan, you know, in making sure that the scoreboard was done at our park, and the parents really appreciate it, the youth appreciate it, and maybe that can be a role model for other teams to come and play in the city of Rialto, because now they have a scoreboard that they can look up and say who's winning and who's not winning. It's a beautiful scoreboard out there, and it was well attended by many individuals in our communities. Then I also spoke, and I know Ed's going to love this one. I was a speaker at the Democratic Luncheon Club at the Elks Lodge. At the Elks Lodge as well on Saturday. So that concludes my report. And with that, I'd like to start with reports before we move on to a closed session. And I'd like to start with our treasurer, Ed Carrillo.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
Our city clerk, Barbara McGee.
Just a couple of reminders for mayor and council. I have your 700 forms that you need to complete, and it's by electronic. All the elected officials and the planning commission need to complete the 700 annual forms by electronic. And if you need some assistance, I can assist you with that, and it's by your email. So with that, and then I have.
Have we been sent the instructions for that?
Yes, but I have some printed that I can give you tonight as well.
Okay.
So I'll pass it out to you. And they just started that this year. So, but everyone else can still do paper, just the elected officials have to file the forms. That include the city manager and the planning commission, but the other commissions can do paper. So it just started January 1st of this year. This Saturday, we will have a passport day, which once a year, the city clerks and staff host a passport day, and it's from 10 to 3. It will be at the city clerk's office. Also, it's 2 or 3 openings that is happening actually on Saturday. You have the Gourmet Greens, which is located at 1230 West Foothill. They're opening up nice salad, which I know you guys are not vegetarians, but I'm vegetarian, so
We
it's a
like
nice-
salad, though. I mean, you don't have to be a vegetarian to
No,
love salad.
I
you
know, but I'm just
I
saying
love
it's a
salad,
love
but you have to
salad.
put a big steak over it.
Oh, yeah.
but okay.
Rare.
Okay,
Medium rare.
you can put all that on there, but if you can stop by there and support that, that's from 11 to 1. Because I'll have some staff there, so we have another one that day as well, which is called the Lenars open up their model homes that day as well, which is next Saturday. And so, and I know most of you guys said you would go by there between 10 and 2. So they will have some of the model homes open, yes?
Just for clarification, is the Lennar Homes this Saturday and then the
Yes.
salad is the
This
following
next
Saturday?
Saturday,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
We have to wait for salad for a week. Okay.
And then coming April the 26th, Rialto is hosting Rialto on Wheels with, co-sponsored by the Rialto Police Department and also Don's Bikes. And if you guys want to donate me a bike, council, you can very well do so. I will be raffling that off at the bike event that we will be sponsoring along with, like I said, the police department and Don's Bikes. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer those. But I have these for you that I can go over your 700 forms with you.
Thank you very much,
Sure.
City Clerk Barbara McGee. Next, I have our city manager, Tanya Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank the city clerk's office for putting on the city manager's reception this evening. It was a very nice event, and it was really great to meet the members of the community. So thank you, everyone who was able to attend, and for the staff who put that on this evening. And then also tonight we approved the second reading of the ordinance to reorganize the commissions. So there will be information that goes out to the community about how members can apply to be part of those commissions. So watch for that coming out soon. If you are a current commissioner or interested in being part of a commission, look for that information online. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our city attorney, Eric Vale.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing this evening. I'll save my comments for closed session.
Okay, thank you. Next, I'll call on our chief of police, Mark Clean.
My big moment, and I lost it. Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. I'll make it quick, but I do have some interesting updates for you. So we're tentatively scheduled to move into the department. They've moved it up. They, meaning the builders, towards now the end of October. That doesn't necessarily mean the ribbon cutting will happen until 6 months after that, but remember they need to move us in so they can tear down the old building. So October, that date's looking better and better. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we graduated 4 more officers from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Academy this last week that are now joining our forces. What does that do for us? Well, your graciousness and allowing us to build and grow the way that we have. Happy to say at this point we only have 4 remaining police positions that are open in a very competitive market, and I hand that to our individual that's assigned to us from HR, along with just our recruitment team that's headed now by Sergeant Morales. In addition to that, I'm proud to say that my assistant, who basically is always behind the scenes, was nominated and awarded the Professional Staff Member of the Year for our department for all her hard work. But one of our employees has nominated her for the 29th Senate District, that award for Women of the Year award. She was one of the finalists for that. That was just held this last week. So Jeanette Lopez, who has dedicated many years of service to this community. So thank you. Yeah, well deserving, because she's always the one that's behind the scenes, but so important because she's in front so many often times. So what have you done for us, Council? Well, here's this last month. In February, 5,847 calls for service, 3,242 Additional calls were for our officers and initiating stops that led to 360 arrests and 1,092 reports. So you can kind of see exactly what your investment is now returning, and we're just getting started. So that's my report. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark Lane. Next, I'd like to call on our Fire Chief, Brian Park.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Council. We didn't make any arrests this month, so you got us beat on that one. But I will say that
You saved a life.
I will say that we were also able to attend the awards and badge pinning ceremonies. And for someone who cut their teeth in Rialto as an employee, I've been here going on 27 years, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly on both sides of Willow. And Chief, my hat's off to you for what you're building over there. It's really special. It's inspiring to see the faces of the future here, like Captain Nelson and some of the staff you're bringing up with the promotions. It's a class act show and a class act department, and from the folks on our side of the street, we wouldn't have anyone else watching our six. So we appreciate you and value the partnership. So great job and thank you. Other than that, rain the next 3 days, the bulk of it coming Thursday. Sandbags available in normal locations. Bring your shovel, Councilmember Perez. And the Public Works team's already been out clearing debris from our sewers and streets and prepping signage, and our public safety team, Public Works, and City Manager's Office are coordinating our efforts over the next few days. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on Tim Sullivan, our Director of Maintenance and Facility and Assistant City Manager. I don't know if you're past the baton yet, but calling on you.
Not yet. Thank you, Mayor. Just really quick, want to remind the public that this weekend is Household Hazardous Waste. So come rain or shine, it's at 246 South Willow, south end of the corporate yard, open from 8 a.m. until noon. So, thank you.
Okay. Next, I'd like to call on our Director of Community Development, Kobe.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. We do have a conference coming up. It is our annual Cowboy Conference, and so these are the building departments throughout the state will get together out in LA and conduct a week's long worth of training, and their annual meeting will take place. We are in the hunt for a Building Department of the Year award. We're crossing our fingers on that, but we are optimistic. Aside from that, we do have another conference that's ICSC. We do have new space out there at the conference center that we will be picking up, and we also have a new design for the booth to demonstrate our wares and our goods for the real estate development community and the retailers alike. And lastly, we do have EDC meeting in April and May. We will, and at the end of March as well, but we do plan on giving a presentation for the EPL system. That is our electronic processing online portal system for permits and business licenses. And we will have a full demonstration of what that environment looks like, which is intended to go live in this June of 25.
Thank you very much. And don't we have a possibility of working on a food market for the city of Rialto? Can you tell us a little bit?
We do, sir. There is a landowner out on Foothill Boulevard that has presented a new Foothill Food Hall concept that is about 18,000 square foot building and a dozen plus vendors that could come in, foodies and alike, things that you see at the Haven City Market and others. We are setting up a meeting with them soon. It's a father-son partnership that is that actually owns a property out there, is looking to develop it. And so hopefully there's some traction there. We can create some partnerships with the neighboring property owners as well.
Yeah, that'll be great for our city if we have traction in that area. So this way we don't have to go to Ontario, or we don't have to go to Redlands. We can patronize our own area and have our own tax dollars stay here. Thank you. Next, I'd like to call on Cynthia Alvarado.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council. Here's what's going on in Rialto. For the month of March, the Tiny Tots program will be participating in Read Across America. March 13th, 14th, 18th, and 19th. They'll be doing it between 11 a.m. and noon. Our Spring Swing Senior Social will be Thursday, March 13th at Grace Vargas Senior Center from 2
Did you have extra copies for us?
I can get some for you.
Okay.
The Teen Center Super Smash Brothers video game tournament is Friday, March 14th at the Teen Center from 4 to 6 p.m. Bud Bender Park Cleanup will be Saturday, March 15th from 8 to noon.
Rec and Roll will also be out at Bud Bender Saturday, March 15th from 9 to 12 p.m. North Rialto Little League's opening day will be Saturday, March 15th at Birdsall Park. The ceremony starts at 9 a.m. Rialto Eastern Little League's opening day will be Saturday, March 15th at Frisbee Park at 10 a.m. SMAF basketball tournament will be happening this Saturday and Sunday. We'll have teams playing in Fontana, Norco, and we will be hosting the 9 and 10-year-old divisions here in our home gym. Feeding America food distribution will be Wednesday, March 19th at Grace Vargas Senior Center from 9 to 11. Tiny Tots Picnic will be Wednesday, March 19th at Margaret Todd from 1:30 to 3:30. And then Department of Aging and Adult Services bus pass distribution will be held Wednesday, March 19th at Grace Vargas Senior Center from 10 to 11. And then some of your save the dates. The Total Wellness Health Fair will be Saturday, April 12th at Joe Sampson. And then Spring Extravaganza will be Saturday, April 19th.
Thank you very much, and hopefully we can all, that's like a guide or a Bible for us to follow, and this is how we're able to, a lot of us, schedule our activities when you do hand them out to us. We appreciate it. You, in the past, given them to us, and hopefully you'll make copies before we leave after closed session. Have a copy of it, so it does help. Next, Shaima, do you have anything you'd like to report from personnel?
Nothing to report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That concludes the report from the consul, city attorney, city managers, and department heads. So at this time, we will have a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Ed Scott, seconded by Carla Perez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Mayor, I
objection?
just need to announce the item. We just have one item of closed session. It's a conference with legal counsel with regard to one matter of anticipated litigation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And coming back, then we'll just come back and adjourn. Thank you. This time we'll come back to City Council. Have the city attorney give us a report.
Thank you, Mayor. We did meet in closed session. We had one item of anticipated litigation. You had a briefing from the city attorney, gave direction to the city attorney. There is no other reportable action on that item. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we adjourn, I just want to wish Carla Perez happy birthday because her birthday will be coming up and
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. So happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy
all.
birthday.
Thank you.
With that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Mayor Pro Tem Scott, seconded by Andy Caraceres. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those object? Hearing none. We stand adjourned.